together going down to the city of Atlanta. I'm also involved heavily in the Fayette County Democratic Party and sponsoring events there. I sponsored the Andrew Young Luncheon, the end of the year Christmas party. And so I'm involved and out in the community, and I'm working with different organizations, especially with athletics, and trying to improve the fields, get more money, especially over on Old National at the baseball field and football fields there, and helping them set up batting cages. And so just being out there and trying to help people with their needs and get things done.
Okay. Ms. Pritchett.
Well, my participation here in the district has been, I participated in redistricting, which was a process that required several hearings all across the state of Georgia, and I spoke on behalf of the 35th Senate District. I've also testified at many of the different hearings during the 2012 legislative session. As a first-generation American to Hispanic parents, I was an advocate for the repeal of House Bill 87, which was the immigration bill. I've also spoken at several hearings concerning women's rights, minority rights. I'm also a member of World Changers Church, which we do a lot of community projects. And about 2 years ago, we had a march down Old National, which we were praying and preaching and just crying out about the prostitution, the drug sales, all of those things down in Old National. I'm also a chair member on the Greater Old National Action Committee that I serve with my Senator, Don Zella James. Within my campaign, I've held several community meetings with different subdivisions to address the issues of crime and crime prevention and crime awareness, and I've done this with the Fulton County Police Department.
I've been heavily involved prior to this election, particularly this campaign. One of the biggest areas was through the youth in the district. As some of you know, I coach wrestling, and that's been one of my greatest jobs that I've thoroughly enjoyed. Throughout the years, I've had the opportunity to work with so many youth throughout Banneker High School. In addition to that, I started an organization. Well, actually, Senator Jason Carter started an organization, Democrats Work, a few years ago, and I worked with him and brought that down to Old National and Fayette County. And it's basically an organization that goes into different areas and cleans up and does all kind of just community service type activities. And I've taken my wrestlers and my other kids that I've taught and had them participate in that. In addition to that, I'm heavily involved with the Democratic Party of Georgia. Some of you know I'm the co-chair of the South Fulton Democratic Committee. That's the title that I've had for a while, and you know, it's something I really, really enjoyed because it's my job to bring down from the state party the initiatives and then see that they're enacted in South Fulton County. And then I'm a member of the Fayette County Democratic Committee. So just, you know, heavily involved with just different other civic organizations and the youth.
Starting with Ms. Pritchett, what do you think the #1 issue is in the district, and how will you fix it?
Well, the district has a number of diverse issues that are all critical, but it all boils down to the economic issue of jobs. When people don't have jobs, sometimes they resort to crime. When you don't have jobs, it's hard to pay your mortgage. Basically, what I'd like to do is I'd like to bring quality businesses into South Fulton, into Fayetteville, into Clayton County. Retain these businesses so that we have quality businesses, we have economic development, and that translates into jobs.
Top teacher.
Okay. Personally, I feel like the #1 issue in the district is the same issue that we have throughout the entire state, and to me, it's education in the youth. You know, we're at an odd place in time where education, as you know, we're ranked 49th in the nation, and we have to stand up and do something about that. And my biggest issue is when you look at the General Assembly, there's 180 members of the General Assembly, and of those members, there's only 3 teachers. And people want to know, why are we ranked number 49? You know, why are we not climbing? And that's because we don't have more teachers at the table saying where resources should be allocated and where funds should be allocated. Education is not something you just throw money at. You have to actually take the time to go into the classrooms, into the school buildings, and find out what's going on, why we're not progressing up the list of being ranked in education in the nation. And until we get more educators at the General Assembly, I just don't see really good things, because we have lawyers and doctors calling those shots and telling us what we should do with education. So to me, the number one issue is education in the youth. You know, what do we do with these youths? How do we prevent them from sitting at home all summer, dropping out of school early? And that's my number one issue.
So you say education, you say jobs.
Because me, I just get to pick. I mean, we're all on the Democratic side here. This is easy for me. It's jobs. That's a huge issue. I mean, we hear about it on the news day in and day out. We have to get unemployment down. We got to get people back working. It gives them dignity. You know, it builds a household. It gives structure. And when people are working, it set inside the family. It sets a good example for the children too. When people are unemployed, it just hurts their character. It gets them down. They're not feeling good. And so by employing people, you're able to encourage them. They're able to set good examples for the people out in the community. And that's one thing that I'm really strong on, and that's an issue that I take to heart because I am an employer. So when I have an opportunity to hire someone, I'm always looking to, okay, what in a particular district, where can I be most effective and help someone? And so I'll look for certain things when I'm hiring someone so I can make that unemployment rate go down, but jobs is key. And so I agree with Linda on that.
Before I go any further, I want to salute our sitting poll here, Mr. Roger Bruce. And a good friend also. But I'm not a partisan. I don't live in the district, nor do I have a dog in this fight. So I will honestly say back to you to ask that question one more time. Because you're going into a situation where you have no majority. By all intents and purposes, you'll have not much of power, any kind of vote that counts per se. And all three of you, or two of you and one of you, all hit on points that are what we would call in my business talking points. Jobs and education, all well and good. But how do you create jobs? How do you fix education in a situation that you knowingly are going into where you're going to have limited power?